Okay, right away, I gotta tell you guys about the video that is on Tucker Carlson. I was seeing it on YouTube with Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong. Okay, this is the first time I've seen this guy. And first of all, I mean, this is first, okay, he's very intelligent. He's a successful businessman, he's a billionaire. And if you listen to him talk about the issues that occurred during the pandemic, you will be impressed if you're somebody like me who, and most of you guys that are regular watchers, you guys know that a lot of stuff that happened during the pandemic, and you pay attention to that stuff, and you will see that this guy is really on the money. And not only that, but here's another exciting thing. He bought the Los Angeles Times. Okay, now here's the thing. What's exciting about this is that after listening to him, this is the good guys here. Okay, I mean, maybe like I said, I am suspicious of anybody who's extremely successful like Elon Musk. But after listening to this guy and thinking about everything with him, of course there could always still be something there you don't know about. But I mean, when he was talking about he bought the Los Angeles Times. And it was like a spur of the moment thing. This guy offered it to him, and he says, "There's no time to even sight unseen. You're gonna have to just decide like in the next 24 hours because there's like a window, some whatever. He had to make up his mind about it." And he's actually from Africa, and but he's Chinese, I'm pretty sure, and or whatever, Asian, but I think he's Chinese. But in any case. So he, but he, they grew up without any television, yeah, because they were in Africa, and so and he fell in love with the newspapers, and in writing and communication with writing, and so he decided to buy the Los Angeles Times. Now, what's really cool about it, of course, it's relevant to me here in Los Angeles, but what's cool is that what I was just kind of imagining in my mind, because see, he was talking about how first of all, these a lot of dyed in the wool, hardcore, blue no matter who liberals actually resigned en masse when he took it over, because when he started to say, well, we're not going to just do a straight blanket glowing approval of Kamala Harris, they all got pissed and left. And then he fired some that they wanted to do, like just totally biased, liberal leaning, Democrat leaning kind of reporting. And he said, sorry, that ain't gonna fly, and fired some, and some quit on their own. But and also he was talking about installing a thing in the paper that would be like everybody's voices included, like not exclusively one party or the other, but listening to all points of view, an open free speech kind of thing. And just listening to this guy, I got excited because I had actually applied for a job at kind of a Hail Mary pass, long shot if I could get it, working as a writer for the Los Angeles Times way back when. And of course, I never heard anything from them. And I'm not really qualified. I don't have the creds for it. Even though I think I would make a great writer actually for the paper. I write very well, and I write interesting, and I write fast, and I can come up with tons of material right away. I email people world-class emails every day. That's how I made 100 grand one time. But anyway, and I lost it due to Satan sending his super soldier, the Scarlet Witch, to come blow up the car, as I've mentioned many times at this channel. But boy, oh boy, people can't take that paranormal stuff. I made the mistake of, in the story of talking with my mechanic this morning, just briefly asked him where a good place to get my catalytic converter changed out. And as soon as I mentioned anything about Angel or so, he just straight up told me straight to his face. He wasn't uncool about it, but I mean, he just, that's enough. I don't need to hear any more about it. And because they just can't take it, just absolutely can't take it. And But anyway, just getting back to this Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong. First of all, to me, it's exciting because I mean, this guy might actually, first of all, turn the Los Angeles Times into a good paper. Like, wow, a good newspaper that's not this total bullshit that we've been getting for years. I mean, nothing but bullshit, except for when we got the Epoch Times, and that was, you know, I didn't haven't had a chance to really look at it because I don't really have the money so much to buy a paper, or at least, you know, like every day or whatever. Maybe I should have bought it and read it and everything, but I just don't get around to it. But and I can't afford really a subscription. I'm really actually unimpressively that broke. But I mean, in terms of a mainstream paper, the Los Angeles Times, right? You got the New York Times. We get the New York Times here as well. And because you see it all the time at the newsstands and the coffee shops, at the supermarket, whatever, you see it. You don't see the newspaper. I don't see the newspaper machines anymore, but they should get them. They should get them because there really is something about reading. Now that you got up, the Los Angeles Times is owned by a good guy. This guy, and by the way, this guy is incredible. Just listen to him talk about the science of the pandemic and the I don't want to say the word, a medicine that he developed that actually worked. And they rejected it, of course, and he talked about it. He says what was interesting, and I was encouraged listening to him. He says, you know, I never was one to, you know, believe in a deep state or conspiracy theories or anything, but when I saw this stuff coming against me, we had the real science and the real deal and the breakthrough on it. And when I saw this one corrupt guy, he kept mentioning, maybe I can think of his name or put in the text here. Anyway, he was talking about these corrupt people like Fauci and some of the people that were under him. And all this stuff, and he says that, and he said he didn't really believe in a deep state before, but now he thinks that there really is something dark there that you can't put your finger on, like it's some sort of dark diabolical thing. And then you know, Tucker Carlson talking to him was kind of commenting that, even talking about how cancer itself kind of seems to have a dark agenda, you know. And you can see Tucker Carlson starting to get it. There's evil spirits coming against us, and I was thinking it would be so. Imagine how cool it would be. If he hired me to start talking about the fact that we have a whole demonic realm coming against us, and I've got pictures, I'll show some here on the screen, of my way of actually scientifically seeing and verifying things in the demonic realm coming against us, according to Howard Pittman, 2,000 demons for every person. And demons we have living in us, demons that attack us, demons in the markets, demons that because somebody was saying that they saw in the spirit realm, when they go in the market and they see all the food, they see demons of ill health and destruction cluttered around these various, you know, things like sweets and stuff like that. And you notice how I wanted to say that. You notice this, I'll show it here on the screen again. So but I'll just describe it here first on the screen, then I'll show it in a second. But this thing where it looks like these two little points coming out, and then this red kind of claw coming out of the side of my face here. Okay, when I did a demonic distortion test on myself, and then this like little white thing, and it looks like I know it's very blurry, it's hard to see anything, but it almost looks like you can almost see the ribs of like this little worm creature with two little eyes. It kind of, maybe it's pareidolia, a little bit of I don't know, but you can definitely see something is there. Okay, now I want to tell you about what happened. So I had some dental work done. I have the free healthcare Medi-Cal here because I qualify for it, earning less than $15,000 a year. So I get free dental and free health, although it's pretty minimal. You know, I haven't even been to the doctor because it's way downtown, some nasty part of downtown LA, and I've been to some, and there's a lot of complaints about it. So it's not like you're getting luxury healthcare here. Not like that, I got my ass shipped out in the middle of the night from. So I went into this local hospital here in West Hills, because this hometown is where I've been forever. I've been here since 1974. It's where I had my appendix out and everything at that same hospital, West Hills Hospital. Anyway, because I have Medi-Cal and the home hospital that they assigned to me is 30 minutes away from my home location, they decided when I went in there last time for, because I thought maybe I was getting that pneumonia again, so I came in and they wanted to do some testing. They couldn't figure it out. Anyway, they ended up shipping me in the middle of the night, 30 minutes away by ambulance at 12 a.m. midnight to this other lower end hospital that was a complete nightmare from start to finish. First of all, the ride in this ambulance that they shipped me out in the middle of the night to some hospital 30 minutes away from my home area, completely unnecessary, right? But maybe it's because the insurance said that they won't cover it unless they do it at that hospital or something, I don't know. But I wrote them a letter and I told them, I said, if you do that again, if they attempt to shut me out again, I will consider it as treatment denied and will leave the facility under any circumstances, including severe health issues at that time, because I won't put up with it. I won't put up with being because when they shipped me out to this hospital, okay, now if the treatment there was fairly good, that'd be one thing, okay? First of all, these people meet me in the middle of the night. They got visible tattoos. They look like they just got out of jail, the people that were in the emergency room where they shipped me in. And then you can't believe the scene. I won't even go into detail. I'll give you one example of how unbelievable that scene was, okay? Well, I'll give you two real quick. One, this woman comes in who had been in an accident that we actually saw on the way to the hospital. Get this. We saw the guy who had crashed into a tree on the way. I saw him out of the back of the hospital on the way to the hospital. Anyway, this guy shows up with his girlfriend. And his girlfriend, they were Latino, and she was broken up. Her ribs were broken. She was in really bad shape, but she was going, oh, the whole time. I sat there in that emergency room as my witness, and I have the dates on this. I wrote it down and everything because I gave a freaking piece of my mind when they called back for a report later, because they call you back for a status report. I gave them the full tongue lashing. You can't believe it. They let her sit. First of all, they let her sit there for 2 hours with no painkillers or nothing, and she was moaning, obviously in pain, and yet they were giving painkillers to the man who wasn't hurt. Yeah, and I was there watching the whole thing, and she finally started yelling, "You're not treating me! I come in here, you're not treating me!" And she was right. She was right, and I support her, and I would help her in a lawsuit against them. That was complete, unbelievable bullshit, like some nightmare scenario in that hospital. Okay. Second thing was this crazed bum comes in. Okay, who is this? Oh God! I mean, just imagine the biggest homosexual shitbag of a scum that you could possibly imagine, and then triple it up. And that's what came in there, and the guy was a crazed lunatic going on, how come you're not helping me? And just like, and because it was raining, so that's why he came in, because he had nowhere to go. No, I know what it was. It was demons driving him nuts. I knew what was happening. Demons were driving him nuts because he was like, stop attacking me, and he was talking about. Anyway, point is, the security, the doctors, nobody did anything about this guy while he went on and on so bad that finally at 2 a.m. I said, fuck this, got up, yanked out the IV. I don't give a fuck what my problem is. I don't care if I'm about to die a fucking moment. I got out of here. I got up, left the hospital, and took a bus home. Luckily there was one running in the middle of the night, all the way back to the West Hills Hospital where my car was, and then I drove home. Okay. So yeah, that I just wanted to share that while I was at it. So that's how a little bit of a problem with the Medi-Cal that we got here, the free health insurance. But anyway, getting back to what that thing was, I got a little sidetracked because I never told that story, and I had made a separate video about it. Then I thought, maybe I won't make it, but I'm going to make it here. Anyway, so I had a problem with my teeth, and it turns out that I had a serious cavity here. I had one tooth that was rotten, and they got pulled out, and then the one next to it was also rotten. It turns out, even though the dentist did a fix on it and tried to make it so it would work and everything, but it kept hurting, and the whole side of my face was in pain. So, and then when you look at this demonic distortions thing here, I'll show it again here. If I haven't shown it yet, I'll show it again. Anyway, that thing looks like a demon. Okay. Now, what I thought about that was, the scripture says, the curse causeless does not come. Okay, as a bird wandering from its nest. I don't get the first part of why it says as a bird wandering from its nest, something or other. I don't know why it says that, but what it says is the curse causeless does not come. Okay, so that's what I think that was. That demon, that was. I thought maybe I got it from the dentist, and I was going to get pissed off. Maybe this dentist gave it to me. No. Here's what happened, okay? I believe it was because I like to sit in my car snacking on sweets. I like to go to the gas station mini mart there and buy candy bars and stuff, okay? Candy bars, ice cream, beef jerky with lots of sugar in the meat, and donuts, and other crap with sugar in it. And I thought, because I hadn't gotten any cavities except for one I got in the Navy, which I was kind of doubtful maybe it was a real cavity or not. But here I am, 54, and I hadn't gotten any serious cavities until I started getting this pain recently, maybe about, I'll say about 4 or 5 months ago when all this started. So the bottom line to it is, and I knew in my mind, I knew that sugar causes cavities, but I thought, no, for some reason I have a, that won't happen to me, okay? But it did. Now I have all these fillings. So luckily they have this new technology where it's all white now, but I'll go like that. I can't see. Anyway, so I had about 6 that were like small ones starting up, but I had 2 that were causing a serious pain in my left side. So I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm just going to tell you guys, my thought is that this is a curse for my sin of eating these sugar snacks all the time, a lot. Maybe an occasional one is okay, but I know sugar is bad for you. And if you can afford to get, as this nice gentleman who ended up unfortunately cursing me out later, so see if I can cover up my face. So it's Sunny. This is Honey, not Sunny, Honey. And so if I've used that in my coffee, but unfortunately, when I put the sugar in this coffee, that I started going to this Western Bagel over here for coffee in Calabasas. Now, this is my hometown right here in Calabasas, where I grew up since 1974. Now I can't even park my RV anywhere in Calabasas, friends. Actually, this is still Woodland Hills. Right across the street is Calabasas. Anyway, the sugar gives me that radical rush, baby. Because as I've gotten older, my energy kind of sucks. So that's why I kind of like coffee. But it's really not good for me. But the main thing that's bad for me, I realized, was the sugar. It really messes with my body. So and I was just talking to some nice guy who, by the way, let me just show you guys real quick. I want to talk about this friend of mine, Jay, who I've been talking with, and he's like a mechanical genius kind of guy. And he just sent me, so cover up my face again so you can see. Let me see here, take it out here. Anyway, this stuff, Turbo Max, whatever, yeah, Turbo Max, and some other stuff, like for hundreds of dollars. This is expensive stuff for me to put in my car. I got a problem with my car right now, but anyway, he sent me this stuff to make my car last longer. And I was thinking the Lord had sent him, or he's just, because he was telling how he'd helped some other people, and he found out about this cool mod to do to your the air intake on your car, and it makes these toruses of air that give you like 30% more efficiency. And then this other stuff that was with nanoparticles, Tribotex, for $100 a shot to add to my automatic transmission, and really cool stuff. So I just want to say thank you, Jay, while I'm here. And friends, I can tell you that what goes around comes around, especially when it comes to a man of the Lord, okay? Which I told you I am, and I'll tell you again that there's no way to know for sure. I was telling you, I'll tell you before, and I'll tell you again, that if you donate to me, for sure it's going to God, okay? Because for reasons, the angels, if a man calls himself a priest, maybe he is, okay, and he's genuinely a priest. If a man doesn't call himself a priest, but God sends him an angel to tell him he's a priest, then he's probably a priest, okay, despite other conditions which other people may not believe, okay? But that's how it's going to be. It's like the devil said in The Simpsons, it's always who you least expect. But anyway, so that's really cool, and so don't forget your gift to God, okay? Because remember, everything comes from God that you have, and He asks you to give to His appointed people, of which I am one of them, as I have explained, an angel that could heal any disease or injury, cut off men's hands, and nothing too big, make people and bodies out of nothing, and sometimes mud from her garden. Make people, I got pictures and video, which I'm not allowed to show, but yeah, and she said she prayed to God and asked Him why she couldn't get me out of her mind, and the answer came back: protect a priest, as I have related at this channel. So therefore, what I am telling you is that it has come to my attention that there's a lot of people claiming that they have been appointed by God to talk about His things, but I have to tell you, not to toot my own horn or anything, and I do stammer my speech somewhat, which Satan likes to make fun of in the credits of Prometheus. But those problems withstanding, it looks like I'm a true priest for the Lord. And not one of these ordinary priests, by the way. I'm one of those, I'm like the priest in the vampire movie, okay? That's the kind of priest I am, okay? And I kind of think about Jimmy Paine that way a little bit too. He may not think of himself that way, but I was thinking that, cause see, I have a good feeling, but not now. I've also had some dark feelings, but I just get excited when I listen to Jimmy Paine just because it's so interesting. Now, in the latest video that I've uploaded, I wanted to comment a little bit about that. Hold on a second. When I listen to Jimmy Paine, I get excited. I just kind of get excited. Maybe it's just purely the content, but also when I was talking to him too, I felt a little bit kind of an energetic spark to it. And I think that now I'll be honest with you, okay? And I'll be honest with him in case he's listening, because he said he watches my channel. That I think that the fact of the matter is that he's worked for Satan his whole life, okay? Especially because we know, because he's in charge of the government and the military and stuff like that, which is not to put him down. That's who everyone served. That's who Jesus served when he worked as a carpenter, okay? But also in some darker capacities, which I know that he's probably not at liberty to say, as a former Men in Black, MIB, and a bunch of other stuff that I'm sure he didn't go public with, okay? Because when you're involved with that, you're involved with a lot of stuff that needs to get done, dirty work, okay? But that being said, one time he said that to go deal with these vampires, he dressed up as a priest. And that's maybe a lot of where you get in these movies, which I think, by the way, I wanted to say something about the discrepancy in time, like, because when he was talking about when these things happened to him, and then the movie or entertainment piece that apparently was based on it, like Star Trek and Alien and Predator and all that stuff, were published some of the times either right during or before supposedly he had that adventure. So it couldn't have been that they took the right. How come? But what I was thinking is, look, these demons can look backward and forward in time, the demonic realm and the spirit realm. If my Anna could do that. She could look forward and backward in time, so they can. And so that's probably where a lot of these people that are serving Satan's kingdom get their inspiration. The demonic realm gives them the idea. They think it's just their imagination thinking it up. Maybe some more enlightened people, like I was kind of thinking George Lucas probably knew that we get our inspiration from the spirit realm. We get someplace other than just, oh, it's just our creative idea and we take all the credit for being so creative and cool. But actually, a lot of the stuff is given to us. For instance, the xenomorph given to H.R. Giger, the artist, who I had thought all this time created that concept of the elongated head alien with the deadly proboscis that shoots out and blasts open your skull and sucks your brains out or whatever, and it's got acid for blood. No, this was a real creature that Captain Dallas, i.e. or AKA Jimmy Paine, which is obviously AKA for his real name. That's a pseudonym, and he's very careful. He doesn't show his face and so forth. He was scolding me the last time he talked with me. In fact, the last thing he told me in the last email he sent me, telling me that he was switching emails for security reasons, and if I have any messages to call James, the last thing he said to me was he was scolding me for showing my face on camera. Now, I wanted to talk about, because this video, that the first video that I know about him, maybe there might have been one. I checked his entire Rumble list, and the first one he's got listed there is that one that was like a 3-hour video, Super Soldier Talk with Agent Jimmy Paine. And he talks a lot about for the first hour, he talks about a lot of other stuff. But then at 1 hour in, if you want to skip right to the stuff about the beasts, is where he starts talking about the reptilians and the wolf people and stuff like that. I don't know if he talks about the wolf people, but anyway, one thing he mentions that I thought was interesting was so they started to find out, actually, when they were rounding up the Jews in World War II in the concentration camps, they found a bunch of beasts, and maybe that's why they deleted his videos, because a lot of the Jewish community didn't like that. And if the ACLU finds out, they'll do whatever they can. Maybe they put some pressure on James Rink or something, or maybe YouTube. I don't know. So I don't know, what'll happen. But anyway, what he said was that so in the concentration camps, they started to find some people that had. And by the way, he said they treated him well. That's just what Jimmy Paine said. I'm not saying anything about it that I don't know. I'm just saying that's what Jimmy Paine said. There's I'm not going to say any more about that, because you're not allowed to on YouTube. You're not allowed to diverge from the World War II narrative that we're fed. Love those narratives. According to Jimmy Paine, though, what he said was that they were finding all these people with various beast features, like webbed feet, slit eyes, claws, or just all these people, and they separated those people out from the main prisoners because they wanted to. And he said Joseph Mengele was studying that. Okay, those beasts. So, and then he was talking about the Queen of England shape-shifting and all that, and she said when she shape-shifts, it looks like an alligator, like a big old long alligator snout, okay? And that's the kind of reptilian she is. There's all these different kinds of reptilians. And James Rink in that talk was also saying that he said there was these two types of reptilians that he had heard were in charge of Earth. They're the two main ones in charge of Earth. I forget what the names of them are. But they weren't the Draco. It was something other than the Draco. I thought it was the Draco, like the dragons Draco that were at the top of the stack. And of course we don't know. But we did hear from Randy Kramer that when he went on this one mission, he had to go to this underground facility where there was one of those reptilian judges. It was the reptilian, but had this reptilian look like kind of like a gecko, but with an elongated head, like one of those lizards with like kind of a long neck, not head, an elongated neck kind of thing. And they actually showed a picture of it on the Gaia channel where I saw that clip, where you can see that clip. By the way, the Gaia stuff is all behind a paywall and everything, but they do have occasional clips that they'll post on YouTube with some of the stuff on it. And a lot of people complain that they're a shill organization, which I wouldn't be surprised, but they mix in some truth. And I think that there are some true witnesses who aren't there, like Randy Kramer. I don't think he's a shill. But maybe some other people are, I don't know. But I believed in the Randy Kramer Mars Marine 17 years. This guy also came on the Alfred Libermont Weber channel. And this guy's been at the exopolitics, which is talking about space, space and all the stuff behind the scenes, UFO, aliens, kind of stuff going on with Earth for a long time. He's pretty good. He has this really slow way of talking. You have to wait, but he gets these pretty interesting interviews. One of them was with Randy Kramer. He had Randy Kramer and Simon Parks, both of which are dynamite, explosive. If we wouldn't know on any of these stuff, these people didn't come forward. And Joseph Powell came on the Super Soldier Talk channel. I haven't seen Simon Parks for whatever reason on the Super Soldier Talk channel, and I was wondering. So we still don't know why Jimmy Paine's movies were deleted from YouTube, and James hasn't answered me, and I was kind of hesitant because I think what happened is his other alter took over. Okay, so an alter is a personality that they bring out through some means. Maybe they put you in a torture chair, or maybe they inject a drug into you, whatever. They can get you to switch personalities, because the angel explained to me they were all made up of all these different people, actually. And what they do is they bring up this really, a heartless, cruel, evil one to work for the devil and his missions. And then once they call up that personality, then they put that personality's soul into a cloned super soldier body, big and muscular, like James Rink shows in the beginning of that movie. And we're getting buzzed. Let's see if we can get a buzz shot here. They love me here. Let me just see if I can get a Yep, direct overhead. This is your gang stalking for uploading reptilian shapeshifters and talking something about our really reptilian overlords don't want us to talk about, like the truth of what's going on this planet. And I think is why God hired me to do this, although I haven't shown myself very worthy so far. That's why the pay is pretty minimal. But I think it's also because there's other reasons why it has to be challenging like this. Otherwise the Lord would provide me with a continuous luxury 2-bedroom condominium with vaulted ceiling, fireplace, and double door fridge and washer dryer and wood floors and everything. But instead of giving it to me for a year, and then it's back out on the street. And oh God, let me tell you, friends, one thing I'll say, my dad was right. Going up, stepping up is one thing. But stepping down, especially if you've been there before and you felt what it's like, to not have a home, to sleep on the street every day with cars zooming by. Ooh, the pain. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to get past the algorithmic isolation, otherwise known as shadow banning, which is severely done to this channel. And you'll notice they've frozen me at 92.5K subs, and I have to watch every day as they subtract subscribers, because a lot of new people discover me. I would have had probably at least by now close to 200, if not more, 200,000 subscribers. As fringe as my stuff is, there's a lot of people that are interested in this, also Christians that trust somebody who quotes from the Bible, the authorized King James Bible. And so appreciate your help. And also, guys, right now I'm having a little bit of a shortfall. As I mentioned, my car is on the fritz once again. So I need some help with that. I need a war chest. If you guys can spare a little extra to donate at freeourworld.org, just slap me a $5 PayPal or whatever you can help me out. I got at least a $500 to $800 repair that I need done. So I appreciate your help. And remember, got to remember that gift of God. Don't mean to say it to my favor so I can buy some more candy bars for myself. But God does ask us to give money to his servants, his representatives in the world, of which I am one, as I mentioned. And yeah, keep that in mind. But there's a lot of smart people that have already discovered that and realized that God is as good as his word and pours out a blessing to those who will.